Hi, I'm Gigi, owner of Miracles on Cakes by Anna. I'm a cake artist. Today I'm going to show you how to make a sugar-free chocolate cake with Van Houten cocoa powder. Okay, so a success of a good chocolate cake is definitely a good quality cocoa powder, right? There's 4 criteria that it has to meet. One is taste, one is smell, aroma. The third is the color, and the fourth is the cost. Of course, it has to be affordable, right? So Van Houten cocoa powder meets all these criteria. You know, I have used many cocoa powder. They look good, but they doesn't taste good. It has a sour taste. Some might taste good, but then it doesn't look good. It looks so light, and sometimes it might look good and it might taste good, but it's very expensive. So the good thing about the Van Houten cocoa powder is that it meets all these criteria. Okay, so let's make a chocolate cake with this incredible Van Houten cocoa powder. So now let me explain to you about the ingredients we are using today. Okay, we have 120 grams of unsalted butter, 4 eggs, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of vanilla essence, 240 grams of maida or purpose flour, refined flour, anything you can do, it's all the same. We have 150 ml of full fat milk, 5 grams of baking powder and 3 grams of baking soda. It's all together here. We have, of course, 40 grams of Van Houten cocoa powder, and we have the sugar substitute stevia, 15 grams. If you don't have stevia, you can use Splenda, and that's also fine. Only 15 grams is needed. Okay, now let's start. Okay, so let's start making a batter. First, preheat your oven at 180 degrees, and I have sieved maida, cocoa powder, baking soda, and the sugar substitute stevia or Splenda, whatever you have, and I have sieved it and kept it aside. Okay, I have my unsalted butter here. You don't have to use a stand mixer, you can also use a hand mixer. The process is the same. So I'm going to start my mixer. Cream the butter. Okay, you can cream the butter in high speed. Once it's creamed, reduce the speed to low setting and add your eggs one by one. Okay. Turn it off. Use a spatula to scrape the sides of the pan or the bowl. Turn it on in low speed. Add the vanilla essence. Then you have your flour mixture, maida mixture with the cocoa powder, seed kept aside. Slowly start adding in low setting. Okay, in low setting, slowly add the cocoa mixture, alternating with milk. Add half of the milk, then add your cocoa mixture, then add rest of the milk, ending with the cocoa mixture, the cocoa maida mixture. Okay, add little by little. I'm stopping to scrape my bowl. Okay. Just for a few seconds, mix it again. Now here my batter looks a little thick, so I'm going to add just a few tablespoons, maybe a couple of tablespoons of milk. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. Take my bowl out and I'm gonna fold the rest. Okay, I'm scraping my attachment, this cake attachment. I'm just scraping it and I'm gonna fold. Okay, fold it nicely with the rubber spatula. Oh, the smell of the cocoa pot, I can already smell that smell. And look at the color. The color looks great, and when you bake it, the color will become a little more darker. Okay, look at the color, nice. And the smell, oh, you should smell this. And I have two pans already ready. Okay, this is 6-inch pans. Okay, you can either use a 1 8-inch pan, 2 7-inch pan. You can double the recipe and make it in a bigger bowl, it doesn't matter. This is a 6-inch and I'm going to divide my batter in two. I have but I have applied butter and I have butter paper lined inside the pan. There you go. Here's the batter. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I have my two pans ready. I'm gonna put this in the oven that is already preheated for around 25 to 30 minutes. Again, the time depends on your oven. Each oven is different. So see, sometimes you need only less time, sometimes you need more time. For me, in my oven, it's going to take around 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, so see you after I finish baking this. Hi, so now we have finished baking our cakes. We have two. Smells heaven actually. So what I'm going to do is it's been 10 minutes. I just left it in the pan. Now I'm going to unmold the cake and leave it to cool. Okay. Or my cooling rack. There you go. I'm just going to take all my butter paper out. Oops. One and the second one. Go. So I'm going to leave this to cool, completely cool on my cooling rack, and while it's cooling I'm going to show you something else, something incredible. I have this ganache here, okay, and this is just regular ganache, 2:1 ratio. You know, you take 100 milliliter of fresh cream, and then you add 200 grams of chocolate. Okay, so just regular ganache. I have it here. It's nice silk smoothie. So what I'm going to do is, to enhance the flavor, I'm going to add the Van Houten cocoa powder. Okay, so I'm just going to add, it's up to you how much you want to add, because if you want to have more intense flavor, you can add like 1 tablespoon, or you know, it's up to you, it's your discretion. So I'm going to add maybe half a tablespoon of cocoa powder, just adding it, and I'm just going to mix it. That's it. Oh, I have to tell you again, the smell is incredible, and you can see the color, the smell, it's all perfect. Yes. So there you go. Our ganache with the Van Houten cocoa powder is ready. Okay, my cakes are cool and nice, so now I'm gonna start ganaching it. I'm gonna torte, fill with ganache, the ganache that we mixed with Van Houten cocoa powder, and then frost it with the same ganache. Okay, so I'm gonna take my cake. I'm gonna just torte the top, cut the top. Okay. Oh, the texture seems so nice. It is incredible. Okay. I'm gonna take the next cake. And I'm gonna torte it also. This is called torteing or cutting the cake. Okay, and I'm gonna put this on a turntable. I have a board here, and I'm gonna put this here. Let me get my ganache. Okay. And I'm just going to put a little bit of ganache in the bottom so that my cake will stick to the board and it does not run around. Okay. And then I'm going to fill it with ganache. Just put a spoon of ganache, and just using an offset spatula, just spread it. There you go. Take your next cake, turn it upside down, put it on top, just press a little bit. Okay? And again, I'm going to use a different spatula. It's up to you. I like to use a bigger spatula to do the frosting. So I'm going to use my bigger offset spatula. And I'm just going to do the sides first. So since I have a turntable, it is very easy for me to frost it, to turn it, turn and frost, turn and frost. And oh, it is, the smell, the aroma of this cake is unbelievable. Okay. And I'm going to put a spoon of ganache on top. Again, using a spatula, I'm going to spread the ganache. There you go. I'm just going to make sure that my cake is ganached everywhere, like I don't see any cake. Okay. And I'm going to use a scraper. I have a steel scraper. You can use a plastic scraper, doesn't matter. I'm going to use a scraper and scrape the sides and top. Okay. Nice and neat. There you go. Okay, I'm just scraping out the excess. If you want to add more, you can add more. But then keeping in mind this is actually a sugar-free cake and you don't want to put a lot of frosting on the cake, because then what is the purpose of making a sugar-free cake, right? Okay. Then I'm going to scrape the top part. Just making it neat. Almost done with my frosting. One more time, I'm going to scrape the sides. On top, the edges. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this in the fridge for maybe a couple of minutes so that the outer part of the ganache is firm, so that I can do another design. I'm going to show you another use of this cocoa powder. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to put this for 2 minutes in the fridge. Okay, so now my ganached cake is nice, not too cool, but the outer part is, see, when I touch it, it doesn't come to my hand. So that's what I wanted. Now I'm going to use the stencils. You get different stencils, different varieties, different shapes. So I'm going to use this stencil, put it on top of my cake. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust some Van Houten cocoa powder. And it's just a simple decoration. Okay, and this I'm going to seal it. Very closely to the stencil. Don't worry if you're afraid of putting too much, because when you take the stencil off, only the part where there's no stencil, that's where you'll see the design. So I'm kind of satisfied. This is enough. And slowly I'm going to take my stencil off, keep it aside, and I'm going to wipe the sides. Just wipe the sides. Okay, and then there you go. We have a sugar-free chocolate cake made with Van Houten cocoa powder, ganached and dusted with Van Houten cocoa powder. Enjoy.